What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. VIP, Frankie Washington. How are you doing today, sir?
I am, wait for it, infinitely awesome.
There it is.
There it is. You expected it, it came, or if you was expecting more, you shouldn't have been disappointed, because there it is.
There it is.
How are you, sir?
I am doing wonderful, fantastic, and a little tired.
Stay here and get down. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about our review. Stay here. Get down.
Oh, what is there? There's a Resident Evil game, and I don't remember which one it was, where...
I bet you they had zombies in it.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure they had zombies in it. But the main character, Leon, I think it is, I think he's bringing this girl named Ashley, like, around
this sounds like
the entire
Resident
game.
Evil 2.
Is
like
it?
The game? Yeah, I think if I'm referencing it correctly.
Yeah, I just know, I don't remember
two.
which game it was, but that was basically what it was.
Stay
like,
here, get down.
You tell her, come, like, follow me. And it's like basically you yelling commands at her, like, hiding, and you like hide in a dumpster, hide in this closet. And so you could go around and fight the people and then clear it out so you can get her and go back. That's essentially what this was.
That's exactly what this is. Stay here, get down. I'll be back. Welcome to All Things Super.
Put this bulletproof vest on. Get down.
Get down. Don't move. Stay here.
Stay quiet. But if you don't know, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpowered movies, TV shows, even trailers. We watch them, we review them, we react to them, we break them down, and we ask the question, is it super?
Is it?
Is it?
No, is it?
Is it?
I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. But if you like that, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform.
Definitely do that.
If you want to join in on the conversation, just tweet at us at ATSuperPod.
Got a lot of homework on this show. We got options. You have options.
Exactly.
You can reach out.
Right.
Because if you leave a comment, we'll read it. And if it's funny, we might even tell you it's funny. You know,
it might.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Well, you know.
Depends on how funny it is.
Yeah, that's a good point, too. Spider.
Yes, sir.
Thor, Odin's son is...
And I want to talk about that, too.
There was one instant, because we already know All Things Super, we're not doing spoiler warnings anymore. If you hear it's because by choice. So you get whatever the conversation goes into, because it's great conversation. But Thor Odin's son was reaching for that hammer. And your boy say,
Is Chris Hemsworth going to be relegated to having to do some type of performance with a hammer in every movie that he's in from now on?
Now, wait a minute. What other movie outside of this one did he, and Thor, of course, did he normally reach for a hammer?
Ghostbusters?
This is true.
Men in Black?
This is also true.
I know, I'm not saying that it's every movie.
So wait a minute. The approval of Ghostbusters was...
Yeah, it was not great.
And Men in Black International was... So maybe we shouldn't reach for hammers outside of the MCU?
Maybe.
Also, Tessa Thompson was in Men in Black, so the combination of them two, you are supposed to not fail that. But this is not a Men in Black review.
Right.
I don't know if we did Men in Black. Do we even want to do?
We didn't.
Okay,
Men in
thank
Black.
God. Thank God. Because that movie didn't make any sense. Not the first three, the last one.
I mean, the first two. The third one wasn't. The third was all right.
All right for who? To put on to fall asleep to?
I mean, some people liked it.
Name those people.
I don't know them personally.
I bet you it's two of them.
I can't say that I know them personally.
I bet you if you go back in time, they'll change their mind. and then you're on a new timeline, so don't worry about it. But this is Extraction. Extraction
2.
Dos.
Extraction
yes. 2. I learned Spanish. That's why I say dos. Don't ask me anything outside of that. That's all I got. But we know how challenging it is to do sequels. Mm-hmm. They did a sequel.
They did a sequel.
The follow-up on Extraction 1, Chris Hemsworth is back being Tyler...
Rake?
Yes. Who's thinking of these names?
The Russos, apparently.
The Russos are back again. The dynamic brother duo that brought you Captain America Civil War. They also brought you Captain America the Winter Soldier. They also brought you Infinity War and Endgame. Mm-hmm. So they're known in the industry to come with that thunder. Like Thor, Odin's son.
I mean, they didn't create Thor.
No, they didn't, but they came with the thunder for Extraction 2. As soon as he touched that hammer, it was like, is it hammer time? No, it is not.
Absolutely not hammer time. There will be no hammer time.
You want me to put the hammer down? Yes, put that hammer down. Yeah, don't pick it up.
But not only they came up with the name, like, period, because this movie, well, this franchise Extraction is based off a graphic novel that they co-wrote called Ciudad.
So wait, what's it called?
Ciudad. Speaking of learning Spanish, I think it's Ciudad means city.
So the franchise is named City?
No, the graphic novel is named Ciudad and is based off the a city in Paraguay. I forget the name of it.
Oh, yeah. All that means nothing to me. Not one thing.
But it's interesting that this is the second Russo brothers Netflix movie that we reviewed on this show.
Ooh.
Do you remember what the first one was?
I believe it was The Gray Man.
Yes, it was The Gray Man, starring another...
God damn it, I'm good!
Starring another MCU alum, Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. And we all know how we felt about that.
Exactly.
Get on down.
Is it...
For those who are on the audio, for all three of those iterations, I'll put my hand up and brought it right back down.
Yeah, because they weren't necessarily great movies. Extraction, the first Extraction, didn't do that well either. But Extraction 2 currently is the number one
on Netflix.
Number one movie on Netflix in the US at least. I don't know about the rest of the world.
Well, why shouldn't it be?
I mean,
Chris Hemsworth.
It's Chris Hemsworth, right?
And he touches a hammer.
And he barely touches a hammer.
Get down, stay here, get down.
But as far as critics are concerned,
here we go.
As far as critics,
now hold on, Spider. Are we critics?
I mean, yeah, everybody's a critic.
Isn't
that what the saying
is? I don't think we're critics.
Everyone's a critic.
I don't think the title of critics fit us. I think we may have not fit that title.
And why is that?
Dose. I think we're being critical. I think we're having an honest conversation about a movie that we... No. Critics are bashing and slandering.
No. They're
saying,
A critic is someone who critiques something. It doesn't mean that a critic is a person that gives negative reviews.
That's trolling.
That's partially trolling. Yeah. But if we are on a weekly basis, we come and we critique the things that we watch. And so technically we are critics.
I'd look at it as the conversation that we would have if no one else was in the room.
I'm not saying that we're professional critics, but
you're not gonna tell everybody what we're talking about, are you?
But
it's just you and I here, Spider. That's all I'm saying, right? No one else is
Oh, I would hope there are other people watching.
I sure hope so. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know you're
Like,
watching.
hey, I watched this.
I watch your show. I watched that movie. I was waiting for him to go for the hammer.
But the reviews are pretty positive on Rotten Tomatoes.
The critics love it. What's the score on Tomatoes?
78 for the critic score and 87 for the audience score.
So there you go. It ain't no Quantumania.
That it is not. That it absolutely is not.
It ain't no Quantumania. And you know what else? I'm gonna go even further. I'm gonna say it ain't no Love and Thunder. It ain't no Love and Thunder. There's no God Butcher in this.
No, there is not.
There is some butchering though.
Is there?
Oh, some of these action scenes are epic.
Let's talk about the action. Because
okay, here we go.
We did a trailer reaction to the Extraction 2 trailer, and we got into one of the big action set pieces, which is the prison yard fight. And we were talking about how they did sort of the long shot, but they did it sort of in the cheating way, right? They had like the camera wipe. They had some a figure pass in front of the camera, and that was like an obvious cut. Or they do like a big explosion where the camera shakes and then falls and get back up.
Falls and gets back up.
Obvious cut.
Russo's.
Why did they feel that they needed to do that so much?
Okay, so
because
that's a great question.
I mean, it's in theory and practice, it's a great thing because it shows like a long take. When he's going through the prison, when he gets the family and they're walking out, there's a big long take.
There's a huge long take.
And literally them going throughout the entire prison is just one single shot. I didn't think that they cheated on any cuts with those. But once they got to the prison yard, and they have the fight, and of course you have like a lot of different, fight choreography and explosions and things that you're throwing around, and you got to make sure that everything's set right. But why do it that way if you can't do it perfectly? And it is my question, because you have, of course, this is I don't even remember whether exactly they are.
Stay here, get down, shots fired, get down.
But they're in the prison yard, and of course the guards are shining the spotlights on them. And you have this cut where Rake isn't necessarily moving, but after the cut, the spotlight is like in a completely different like spot. And it's like, you can obviously tell that there's a cut, so why not just not do a long shot for that particular scene?
Hey, well, I was supposed to tell you, and you know what? This is my fault, Spider. Continuity called and said that they wasn't going to come in for Extraction 2. So you're gonna have those type of situations. But let me answer your question. Here's my take on it, since I'm a critic now. I graduated from a spectator to a critic, thanks to Spider. What we had was in Extraction 1, a great long take. They were known for the long take. And what happened here on Extraction 2, they doubled down on the long take. They're like, this is what brought us to the dance. This is what everybody would loved about Extraction 1. Let's double down and make it a longer long take. Boom. Boom, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. And clearly, critically acclaimed and #1 on Netflix, it works.
I guess.
Or does it? Welcome to the show.
But not only did they do the long take in the prison yard, they did it when they were trying to get away on a train as well.
Yes.
And so
wait, Spider. Before you go into that, let's clear things up. The long take is something that, if done correctly, and that's not to say they did it wrong on here, accents your movie. Ryan Coogler did the long take with Black Panther, right? We talk about Extraction doing the long take. You know who else did the long take? Michael B. Jordan's Without Remorse did the long take.
Right.
In fact, they did a lot of long takes in Without Remorse that actually kind of worked. You know, in both of those iterations, the long take worked. Here, Not sure that it does. Maybe because it was too long.
I really feel like it worked up until they got into the prison yard, because that's when things started to get like real crazy. And I think that, and we talked about this when we were talking about John Wick Chapter 4, when we get to the scene where they're in the house and there's the overhead shot with the removed roof, so you can see how the walls are segmented, and you can see John kind of going through like a top-down video game almost. Right, you can see him going room to room. I think
with the glizzy that flame on when he shoots.
But I think that the yard fight scene would have done better with at least a couple of overhead shots, just to show the pandemonium that was going on in the yard, because we already established that there were two rival gangs or two rival factions that were in the prison, one being the gang that
the people that like marshmallows in their cocoa, and then the other ones that don't like marshmallows in their cocoa. It's a real thing.
Sure. But we have Zurab and David, who are brothers, and David is the one who's in jail, and he has his wife and his kids in jail with him, because
this is also true. How does that work again?
Because he basically, the two brothers themselves, they basically own the city. They had policemen in the pocket. They had the governor in the pocket, because even Zurab told the governor, he said, "Don't forget who's the one that put you in office," before he stabbed him in the throat with a pitchfork.
Sometimes you got to get stabbed in the throat with a pitchfork. You got to make a point. So
very sharp point.
It's better than getting stabbed in the throat with a spoon.
I suppose you're right. But so he
Don't
basically
sign me up for either one of them. I'm good.
Yeah, I would not like either of those. But he got them put into prison with him so he could watch over them, because, like you said, he owns like basically almost all of the city, so he has a lot of people under his employ, so he can keep an eye on his family, make sure that nobody tries to attack them while they're out. And so there's this other, so there's because the woman's name was Ketavan. There's Ketavan, her family, and the people that are on their side, and then the people that basically want to kill them. And so crazy how you have a prison with just two factions, and they just so happen to be at war with each other. But
marshmallows,
all boils down to the marshmallows.
Which one you want? You want with marshmallows or without?
With marshmallows.
See, there you go. You might have survived.
Depends on who else was on my side. I don't know.
Well, it wouldn't be somebody that don't like marshmallows unless they're a traitor.
You never know. Inside man.
Marshmallow loving mother.
But because of course it was descended into chaos almost immediately. But we get a courtyard full of people, everybody's fighting each other, just to be able to see, just sort of not even necessarily an overhead shot, but just like maybe a wide shot, to where we could see a little bit more of what's going on, just to kind of see how Rake and Ketavan kind of get lost in the mix, because they're in the middle of not only of the two gangs, but then the guards are in there too, and just to see how like small that they appear.
They don't even calculate in this thing. The guards like T. So
just, and I know that of course this is focused on them because they're trying to get out, and that's where the action lies, because we're following the hero as he fights his way through all of it. But I feel like just pull out for one wide shot. That's all. We don't have to be on his face the entire time.
Listen, what I loved about this is the same thing that I hated about it. We stayed in the long take too long. And don't get me wrong, the action scenes were not horrible.
No.
But they were horrible. They were creative, but they were okay. If I'm nitpicking, if I'm being a critic about things, when we're fighting in the gym and Chris Hemsworth shoots a guy and then kicks the guy and he falls on the leg press, right?
Yes.
And then he turns around, shoots another guy. And then he turns back around and shoots that guy again, which again, he's wearing Kevlar.
Right.
So he's not dying. And I understand that you're just really trying at this point in time to hit a guy to keep him down or to keep him off you till you can actually land a clean shot to kill a guy. So he shoots this guy again, I think for the second or third time. And the guy's not dead yet. So he kicks the safety. Oh, and then have the weight come down and crush him.
Just squish the shit out of him.
And it's like, it's creative. It is. But at the same time, it took me out of, what is it? Suspension of disbelief. And it was like, Tyler, you kill people for a living. Like you're the extractor. It's kind of like, you know what? I would love to see like him go against John Wick.
John Wick
know what I'm
wipe
saying?
The fucking floor with him.
Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up immediately, so we can now see how he's not at John Wick's level.
He's not on John Wick's level.
So the point of what I'm saying, well, here's what I like about this movie. We're not in a John Wick world.
No.
Tyler's been stabbed, he's been shot, he's been punched, thank God Chris Hemsworth doesn't have that tough guy clause in his contract.
Right. He gets his ass kicked.
He gets his ass kicked. And there's at no point in time that I think he may not get shot. I mean, he'll get shot, but he's not gonna stop.
The end of the first movie was him getting shot in the neck and falling off the bridge.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for him holding his breath underwater for such a long time that they foreshadowed, in the beginning, you would think that he was done.
Right.
But now we're in the situation that, I liked. This movie should be where it's at, but probably shouldn't be where it's at. In my opinion, just in my opinion. I like when they stabbed, it wasn't just a stab, it was a stab and a slice.
Yeah.
Like that looks like it hurts.
Either
like,
that or it was like multiple stabs.
Multiple stabs. But here's where, when we have the main character and we have the creative fight scene on top of glass on the skyscraper, on top of the skyscraper. And we're battling, we're tussling. I get the upper hand. Even though, here's the thing, I ran out there to save Nick.
Yeah.
Right? I ran out there to save Nick and I was being creative because I knew I couldn't just stop. I had to grab her and hold on. So I shoot the glass out.
Right.
So I could grab the bar. My thing is, was that really necessary? Because you could have just grabbed her and held on and probably still been able to pull her up onto a platform versus having her hang and you're holding her by her vest.
What would you have been able to hold on to, though?
Well, there was nothing really too. I think he shot like 2 panels out.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he may have shot him prematurely. But let me tell you also what the issue I have with them critiquing this scene. He's holding on, and our titular bad guy comes out and says, you must really care for this woman, as he shoots him in the hand.
Right.
He's holding on for his life. He's holding on to her. He gets shot in the hand. He's still holding on. I can accept all of this. She shoots the glass from underneath him, causing him to have to hold on.
Right.
Chris Hemsworth takes his friend Nick and throws her into the side panel with enough force that she breaks the glass. I don't know what type of glass this is.
I don't know.
Candy glass, apparently. But enough force, yeah, sure. I've seen guys rip car doors off, so enough force that she can break through the glass. Now, here's the thing. We both get on equal footing. We're fighting. Again, we're on top of the glass. Chris Hemsworth get the upper hand, takes down the bad guy. Now they're going to the chopper because Chris say get the family to the roof so they can take the chopper and leave.
Right.
Chris gets the upper hand in the fight, looks at the bad guy, and they say, Tyler, come on, we're almost at the roof. And he's like, I'm on my way. Excuse me. Spider. Tyler, the character, has murdered so many people up to this point, the main bad guy is right here, somewhat unconscious.
And that's even a stretch.
Kill him.
That's even a stretch.
You don't kill him.
He fell probably the distance from my ceiling to my bed.
And was knocked out for a little bit.
Apparently. But probably got the wind knocked out of him, maybe.
Not long enough to not make it to the roof.
Immediately.
Chris,
Immediately. Now,
I'm at the roof.
I do understand it takes a minute for a helicopter to take off. It does take a while for a helicopter to lift off.
This is true.
But for him, because I don't know what floor they were on.
It was on the floor with the gym.
But either way, there was still some floors between the gym and the roof.
This is true.
Even if he would have took the elevator or if he would have took the stairs, he should not have gotten up there that fast.
That fast, right? All the guns that's sliding around. You just murdered, and by the way, all those bodies were gone. When they panned back.
Yeah.
All those bodies. Continuity, I need you to come in. All those bodies were gone. So that explains why you couldn't just pick up a gun
they were already
and go
cleaned
finish the job.
They were already cleaned up. Housekeeping on top of it.
Yeah, I got me out here moving these bodies again. Y'all hurry up.
You just see them fighting out on the glass. God damn it. I'm going to have to clean that up too when they done.
Dude, all you had to do was pick up one gun. He's the reason that the brother was killed.
Yes. And I already knew he was going to die.
That death is on your hands, Tyler. There's no way you're not responsible for this.
Literally, when Yaz came out at the beginning of the movie and they were bringing Rake from the hospital and he was clowning him about his shirt. And he was like, "Oh, you like it?" And he was like, "God, no." He was like, "I'll buy you one." And then he actually sent him the shirt. I was like, "Oh, Yaz is going to die." I saw that. I was like, "Yep, Yaz is going to die."
When he was like, "We're going to get matching shirts," and he's like, "You're going to wear?" It's like, "Not on your life," or whatever he said. It's like,
yeah, he's going to die. But the thing about it is that, to be honest, all of them should have died. Every single one of them should have been dead.
Several times over.
Over.
Listen, watching this movie was like watching the cinema scenes in a video game. For the sheer amount of if nothing else, the proximity of the main character or sub characters next to the explosions that happen.
Yeah.
There's no shrapnel, there's no fallout, there's nothing that's like, I'm gonna just take this grenade and stick it right here and boom.
Literally a helicopter that blew up right next to the train that they were on, where they had no protection because it shot out all of the windows and everything. They rolled through an explosion. Cars flipped. All of their cars flipped while they were in them. They were in a train that derailed. Everybody was strapped in except Tyler. Tyler wasn't strapped in and he was fine.
Odin's son.
Here's my thing. Since you brought up him kind of shooting at the guys and they were like wearing armor and everything. When Nick is at the front of the train and there's the squad that comes in to attack her. These guys, of course, they have body armor on. They have helmets on and everything.
Goggles too.
Goggles, all of that stuff.
That's how you save money in your budget. You can reuse the same guys.
He shoots a guy in the leg,
right?
Like 3 times,
right?
I would imagine his knee is gone,
annihilated.
He doesn't miss a step, doesn't slow down. He staggers back a little bit and then keeps going right at it. I'm like,
super soldier.
Really? I'm like, that would like
shooting me in the leg. It goes down by 5. You gotta shoot me in the face.
That would bring me down to at least drop a knee or something.
I'll drop the knee like I was proposing. Like, oh girl, you hey, you doing too much.
Because and it really seemed like Tyler could go through a couple of guys, shoot them a couple of times, they're dead, they're gone.
Yeah.
Nick shoots somebody. She has to shoot him like 13 times before they could drop down. I was like, did she have woman bullets or something?
Yeah, they're female bullets. They're sexist bullets. These sexist bullets can't hurt me. I'm all man. I'm all testosterone.
Why are her bullets less effective than his?
It's scented too. They got little scents.
They're pink and they got flowers on them too.
Little pink flower scented bullets. These don't do nothing to me.
It just that was the thing that bothered me so much because I feel like Nick was just as talented as Tyler, maybe a little bit less so. But she
is that. Listen, when she flipped that guy over and straddled him, he was like, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. Like I was just trying to touch it. Oh no, I can't touch it. Okay, then she shot him. It's like you did too much. You should have just chilled because I was trying to get that other guy. Right.
But it just, I was like, why does she have to go through so much? Like, I can understand in a hand-to-hand fight because Nick is a petite woman. You know,
she is.
A lot of the guys are like really big dudes that she was going up against. So she would have to put forth a little bit of extra effort in hand-to-hand combat. But a bullet doesn't change speed just because it's in a woman's hand.
You got a sexist bullet.
It was just so weird that she had to shoot people so much more.
Good thing you shot me with these feminist bullets.
These bullets for her.
Just for me. The bullet version. Oh man, I don't understand. Listen, and the award for the most annoying kid.
No,
I feel like this is a category, Spider. I feel like stop having annoying boys in your movie.
But I feel like of the other kids that we've talked about in the other movies that we've watched, he was annoying for sure. He wasn't as annoying as the other ones that we've seen. Because at least with this, I could see how he's, sort of brainwashed by his father. And we don't really get that well established, except for like one little sentence was like, yeah, maybe dad was right. I should, grow up to be stronger. And that's like it. It's not like he's fully convinced because I'm like, you just saw him hit your mother.
And that wasn't enough.
And that's not enough to say that, okay, maybe he's wrong about this.
Like, I need you to get with the program. Clearly, guys are coming to kill us.
He literally said, don't they know that we're in the car while the car is getting riddled with bullets?
I mean, come on, my guy. And when he tells them to do what? Put the vest on and get down. That's the opposite of what they do. It's like, I want to see the bulletproof glass and just da, 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 da. And it's like you're not gonna get down, are you? What killed me was when he was already captured, and he's like, "Are they gonna kill my mom?" And your boy says, "If you wanted her alive, you shouldn't have made the call."
I appreciate that because you want to talk about like villains, right? Because
that was a villain line.
They did it twice because when they were sitting there and like all of their squad was infiltrating the building because that was the uncle. Yeah. The uncle asked the brother, he was like, "And what about the kids?" And the brother just kind of looked at him.
Looked at him like, "Fuck them kids."
he's like, "I'm not purposefully going after them.
If they get hit, what do you say? If he dies, he dies.
Should happen to get in the way. It's not gonna be no love lost." But no,
that little motherfucker owe me money anyway.
The uncle he didn't have a lot of lines, but that line in his last words was probably like the two dopest lines of the whole movie.
Oh
but
my
just like
God.
him telling the son, if you wanted your mother alive, you shouldn't have made the call. I was like,
thank you.
Villain, like no redeeming qualities. We don't have to worry about, maybe he's nice, none of that. But even at the end, he was still trying to be like, because the whole thing about it, as they said when they were like explaining this whole like faction and everything, they said that the two brothers appealed to all of these people because they gave them a sense of family, right? And so we see that all the henchmen, that they are like, you have my blood, you have my soul, I'm with you, I'm gonna ride for this cause for you.
Right.
And the uncle is telling them, he's like, we are losing good people. These are people who have been with us for years, and you're just you're basically sending them on a suicide mission. He's like,
expendable.
Exactly. And he's like, I'm gonna do what I have to do to avenge my brother. And so and then in his last moments, the uncle is trying to tell him, he's like, God, I always thought that God took away your hearing because he's deaf. For any of you who haven't watched the movie, he is like, I thought God took away your hearing so he could whisper directly to you. He's still believing the path that they've been set on, taking care of all these people. And he said,
That's sweet.
but now I can see that all you hear is your own rage. And then when he shoots him, he was like, I always knew that I would lose my life to a bullet, but I never thought
But
it would be
not from
your
you.
bullet.
So poetic. So poetic. Why
like
wasn't he the villain?
Right. I feel like that was a wasted character.
Why wasn't he the villain? Like he had a thought process that, you know what? You're right. I was asking for too much. I'm asking for too much. And I understand that I'm asking for too much. But at the same time, here we go with this nonsense that we're dealing with. I really was listening for the Mario music in these action scenes. It was like watching the cinema screen in a game.
It's Mario music though?
Hey man,
it's like you have so many action games, shooters. You got Metal Gear, and you go with Mario. Okay, that's what you want to pick.
Boing, boing. That's what I was looking for. Listen, there's no reason. I mean, clearly it's just our opinion,
right?
Because this movie, full transparency, I fell asleep on it twice, actually like 3 times. So I had to go back and watch it. I think without spoiling the end of our episode, I think it's something.
So, and because I feel you are leaning a certain way, and like you said, we're not going to spoil the end yet. So here's my question, because
What you got?
We have the Russos. They're
putting
on these movies, and I'm just speaking specifically about.
Can they go back to the MCU?
That's part of my question. I'm speaking specifically about Extraction 2, The Gray Man, and I feel like I personally feel like the first Extraction was better than Extraction 2.
I'm not going to say that. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to say that when you finish. Go ahead.
So these are characters, because for The Gray Man, the Russos co-wrote that movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Extraction and Extraction 2 based off of a graphic novel that the Russos co-wrote. So these are original characters from the Russos adapted into movies. Versus the productions that they've done with the MCU: Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Infinity War, Avengers: Endgame. Right. These are already established characters that they did not create. You have a visionary like Kevin Feige keeping everything in line.
Yeah. I'm still with you.
Is it that the Russos don't have that same magic when they're left to their own devices with their own characters? Because when they directed Captain America: The Winter Soldier, heralded by so many people as the best MCU one of the best MCU movies ever created.
I might go watch it after we finish the show.
We had the action, we had the spycraft, we had the drama, we had the storytelling.
Right.
So what was it that the Russos did for Winter Soldier that they couldn't do for these movies? Is it because they didn't write those? Or they didn't write, Winter Soldier and Civil War? Like, I don't know where the disconnect is.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like Oreos?
Yes.
When you eat Oreos, do you have milk normally?
No, not really, actually.
You don't have milk with Oreos? You know it's Milk's favorite cookie, at least that's what they say.
Did they ask Milk that? I want to hear it straight from Milk.
You are absolutely right, because I think chocolate chip was in the running. But
I feel like chocolate chip was first.
But Milk never said it was his favorite cookie.
Like I said, I need to hear from Milk. I need a quote from Milk.
Let me know when that comes through. The point of what I'm saying is sometimes pairings come together to make a delicious treat. Whether you have it chocolate chip, Oreos, oatmeal raisin, or whatever cookie that you want to enjoy. Sometimes you have cookies and wine. I don't.
Okay, you're veering off you're veering off the road. I need you to steer it back.
Steer this movie back. I can't make the movie make sense. You want me to make my analogy make sense? Oh, it's a simple fact that sometimes you have a pairing that comes together that's magical. Mm-hmm. And that's what Kevin Feige and the Russos are. They come together and it's magical. That's not to say that you can't enjoy milk by itself or wine by itself or Oreos by themselves or chocolate chip cookies by themselves. But sometimes you put some things together and they just don't have that same magic.
And here's the thing, because when the Russos came into the MCU, their like credit, because normally, you know, when they have a director that's directing the movie, it's like, oh, from, you know, the directors of this and this, you know,
Hot Tub Time Machine,
right? And they have all of that, you know, like their big credits. And what the Russos were known for when they came into the MCU were being directors
spy thriller action.
Not even that though. That's not what they had when, you know, they were doing like press or whatever. They would introduce them. They were like from directors of Community. They were being tied back to Community.
Did you watch Community?
I didn't watch like all of the seasons of Community.
Let me tell you something. Community is awesome.
And I agree with you. But here's the thing. It's still, you have these directors coming in, but the show itself was created by
Dan Harmon.
Exactly. Who was a visionary, who we have lauded many times over for
killing it on these answers. Y'all see me
for all of his work that he's done on Rick and Morty and how much of an intellectual, comedic, and heart-wrenching show that can be. And you can have all three of them in the same time because of, you know, this person that Dan Harmon and finding these writers. And I'm not saying that Dan Harmon does it all by himself, but Dan Harmon has this overarching story that he's telling, and he gets writers that understand his vision the same way that he does. So pulling the Russos in to direct on Community, I'm sure he had some type of say in that.
Of course.
So it's still the Russos putting their hands on something that's been created by somebody else and having critical acclaim for those projects.
So you're saying this milk done spoiled?
No, I'm not saying that the milk is spoiled. What I'm saying is that because we love these MCU movies so much that the Russos have directed, but when it comes to these Netflix movies that they've directed, written, produced, we're not getting that same love out of it. And I'm just trying to see exactly what is it that we're missing from these movies that we got in the MCU movies.
So you're saying they need a Dan Harmon, they need a Kevin Feige.
I'm asking, is that what we're missing?
They need a Brie Larson?
Do they have? I don't know about the third one.
Captain Marvel.
They didn't have anything to do with Captain Marvel.
Try to throw Brie Larson in there wherever I can.
But is it that they are great directors, but not necessarily great writers?
Well, if you look at Infinity War and Endgame, they did not write those.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But they wrote The Gray Man. They wrote Extraction. They wrote Extraction 2.
So you're telling the Russos they need to put their pen down and just stick to, because the scenes, they're not horrible action scenes. No. I will say that there's fight choreography that's innovative and some stuff is new. I like the fact that Chris Hemsworth gets punched, beat, stabbed, shot, and he continues to go, whether it's based on adrenaline or super soldier serum, whatever the situation may be, he's still going. It just, some of the things that he's going through is a little bit outside of the, I mean, don't get it twisted. It's a reality. I mean, it's an action movie, so you're going to have to suspend your disbelief at some points in time. But again, when you do something like Without Remorse, again, action, but
I feel like that was more grounded in realism.
Yes, that one's more grounded in realism. And
except when you let the kill on fire and then got in it. I don't know how.
Wait, which part?
When he lit the car on fire and then got in it.
Well, he lit the car on fire and got in it, but it's not like he walked out of it and just walked away. You know what I mean? He lit the car on fire, he got in, and then when he got out, that's when you found out he was like special forces and this and that, and he got arrested.
Yeah.
So even though Chris did all of this stuff at the end of the movie, he got arrested.
And that was when they were in the church and all of the police start coming in. And I thought that the movie was just going to cut the credits. And when I was watching that, I was looking at it, I was like, they should be in jail because technically they're mercenaries. It's not like they were part of like
any organization,
military,
now
FBI, CIA, pretty much. So I was thinking that I was like, they should be in jail after all of this, and I'm glad that they actually cut to the next scene and they're in jail. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They're in jail now.
Yeah, they ain't even get a trial. They're going straight to it. Like, dude, you done murdered. The body count on this is John Wick numbers, at least John Wick 1. You murdered like 30, 40 people.
Right. And they'd like had no regard for that like German city that they were in, where their like office building was. The bad guys just like wrecking shop on cop cars. Like just killing all these people in the streets.
And that's the thing, it's like, even if you're a bad guy, you wouldn't move like that because just that's too much heat on you. Right. It's like there's no like the other guy, the uncle. Like I could see him moving in a more strategic way to try to get what he's trying to get done. Right. This guy is just straight chaos, shooting up cities, shooting up cars,
just RPGs, just shooting down helicopters
in public areas, city populations. You think you're not gonna have smoke coming for you after that?
And the funny thing about it was that they were moving into the office building because of course they knew where they were going because the fucking little boy told them. But they were full body armor,
right?
Guns out, running through the building. And it's like the same thing in John Wick Chapter 4 when they were running through the club, shooting at people. Nobody bat an eye.
This my song. This my song. What they doing over there? Oh, they shooting. This my jam, though, Jit.
But you had them running up the stairs and people were just walking right past them, and just like there was no reaction from these people.
Yeah, that don't concern
me. It was like
me.
They didn't
mind the business that pays me.
They didn't really start reacting until they started shooting out in the streets, and that's when they started screaming and running.
Video game. So, you know how to let a mushroom walk back and forth until he gets squished?
I don't care that Mario throwing all these fireballs over my head. I'm gonna just walk my little path.
Shells, you can throw the fireballs. The turtle just go walk to this side till he hits the end, bounce and go the other way. That's come on, man. The way he took out the helicopter, and it's like when he opened that train door, I'm like, don't open the train door. He opened the train door. There is a hurricane of bullets that come through that door. And the fact that he was just standing on the side, I'm gonna just let these bullets pass me by, and then I'm gonna go on to the top, and I'm just gonna shoot the helicopter down. Like, oh my God, okay.
Catch them when they're reloading. That's always the opportune time.
Certain debt, not so much. That's give me that. Then give me a little debt crystal on his head. I can see my own debt. Certain debt. I don't know, man. I would say in me personally, I won't say Extraction 1 is an L for the Russos. I kind of enjoyed Extraction 1.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad that they made a sequel. I'm not. Anytime you have an action movie, please don't give me subtitles. Just don't.
Yeah. And
it takes away. I have to read what they're saying My
Right.
ears are listening to what they're saying, and even though you told me what language it is, for whatever reason, my intelligent mind think, "Oh, I could decipher that." So I'm not really reading. I'm trying to catch words that I can say. Oh, idioso. Okay, I knew that word. Uh, I'm reading and I'm missing what's going on the screen.
And it boggles my mind that they're on the plane going to Germany, and Yaz is calling the German officials or whatever, saying that, oh, we need our team. This is where we're gonna be landing. And he starts his sentence in German and then finishes the sentence in English.
Mm.
And
So
I'm
who was
like,
that for?
why?
Who was that for?
Because had he had, because because I'm trying to remember where they were. They were in Georgia. Yeah, they were in Georgia. Okay.
Just got word from Seven Spider.
Shut up,
Continuity
Seven.
will
Shut
be
up,
back.
Shut up, Seven.
On
Shut up, Seven.
Extraction 3 continuity will
Shut
be
up,
there.
Seven. So the mom and the son could speak Georgian and English. I think the little girl only spoke Georgian.
Okay.
So had Yaz,
which Tyler knows too.
Tyler knows Georgian because that's his ex-sister-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So had Yaz finished the call in German, there's little to no chance that the son would have known where they were going to where he would have been able to call the uncle.
How the movie was supposed to happen. Then.
But if you're gonna do that, just have him do the whole call in English. Why it's talking German and then switch it up to English? It's not like he was talking to two different people.
You know how it is when you speak Spanish. Sometimes you switch back and forth from Spanish to English. Dos.
One thing that we didn't talk about, because we talked about the action, how outside of the the one take with the obvious, the long shot with the obvious cuts, and the long shot with the train and all of that kind of stuff, and the train derailing, I did feel like,
how many helicopters did we crash though? Oh, go ahead, finish your thing. You felt like what?
At least like 6,
well,
5, 6. But I did feel like you said, a lot of the action was still fairly good. One part in particular, which how there are some things that are like brutal, and it's like, all right, that's kind of over the top. Like you said, with him, the guy getting squished by the leg press when he was fighting DeVite in prison. And they're in like the cold room or whatever, and he takes his hand, and I thought he was just breaking his fingers, but he ripped his hand in half.
Super soldier serum.
I don't think I've ever seen someone get their hand ripped in half before.
Odin's son.
And that was one of the ones I was like, damn. Like,
and
okay.
I'm not qualified to say it is possible or it isn't possible. I can tell you that may have been the first time that I saw it. If you go rip my hand in 2 different Vulcan pieces,
you got that deep Vulcan salute all the way down to the wrist.
You're now alien now. You got this going on. It's just, I don't know, man.
And here's the thing. So the fight between Tyler and DeVite was a good fight. And then we get it.
Which time?
The one where they were in the cellar area.
Okay.
That one. The final fight before DeVite was killed.
Okay.
And then it's punctuated by Kedavan coming in with the shovel. And just like, wow, getting revenge, right? Cool. Then they get into the yard. And this is like immediately after they get into the yard, and Kedavan asked Tyler, are we going to make it? And he was like, we'll try. Just keep swinging the shovel. And for her to give them the lightest taps with the shovel, like she's an old lady swinging her purse at somebody. Like, she did no damage with that shovel while they were in that yard.
Yeah. I would say I appreciate her swinging that little shovel because sometimes it's just be that little nuisance to get a guy off you long enough so you can compose yourself so you can get back up. But no,
Oh
she wasn't
God,
doing nothing with that shovel. It was
nothing.
embarrassing. It's
Mm,
like you just hit a dude in the face. Now you over here tapping on his
right.
back. Get off of him. Just say, And then why are they taking her? We got two rival gangs, marshmallow lovers and no marshmallow lovers, and the
Mm-hmm.
cops that drink tea. Why are they all trying to get her or him?
I don't know.
So here's the thing. I'm a prisoner,
Right.
right? For the sake of this conversation. Gentleman comes in with a gun. He got the glizzy. It's out.
Right.
He's moving this way. Why am I attacking him again? He likes whiskey. He doesn't like cocoa at all. Get him!
My understanding was that whether it was Kedavon and DeVite's crew or whether it was the rival gang, either one would want her like captured. Because either they're gonna bring her back to DeVite or they're gonna kill her.
I am not running up on a man with multiple
I'm not
guns
saying that
or
it
some
was
chick
smart.
that I don't know.
I'm not
And
saying
then-
that it was smart, but I'm just saying.
Shout out to Chris, because I don't know if it was the Russos that made the decision or it was Chris that made the decision. He really did not try to kill those guys.
He it was a last resort for him to actually shoot somebody because he was fighting.
Yeah,
he fought off like
shot
8 different
down.
dudes. Yeah, he fought off like 8 different guys.
I think he shot a guy in the foot or something.
Yeah.
But then when they wouldn't ease up,
like,
and you're not gonna take this gun from me. That's one thing that after I seen this dude fail at taking the gun, this dude fail at taking the gun. I'm going in the back and sit down because after he got shot and he got shot, I don't even want no part of it.
and then you were talking about the proximity to explosives and how close they were. He put the explosive on the door.
Yeah,
and
just turn this way.
But he had to do that because that's where the family was. He had to protect them.
Of course,
he shielded them, but it was it was enough to blast 8 other dudes back like 20 feet.
Yeah, that's how explosives work.
Because I guess it was the explosive force was all directed that way.
Yeah, that right. Go ahead and say it, Spider. Say it. Let the people know. Say it.
It's just, and we've talked about this before, how you have movies that are decent, but they just make the weirdest decisions. Listen. Because there is a person who goes through these movies and they have to edit them.
It's not continuity. she quit.
But they have to edit them, and not even, it's like when they're storyboarding and they're framing all of this stuff out so they can shoot it, does nobody say, well, that doesn't make sense. Why would he be that close to the explosive?
You know what they say? Hey, hey, shut up. Go finish editing the movie. That's above your pay grade. You know who I am? I'm a Russo. Russo. Russo and Uso rhyme. So there you go. Right?
Just some of the stuff.
Just say it. Just go ahead.
Just some of it is it leaves you wondering just why they went in the direction that they went in. And I don't know, unless there's at some point we could ever talk to them and ask them, was like, why did Nick have to shoot people 3 times as much as Tyler did? That's what I want. That's like my biggest gripe with this whole movie. It's just I felt like they were so unfair to Nick. Because
what's Nick's brother's name?
Yaz.
Yes. Yaz didn't have to die, right? He just didn't. He just didn't have to die. And I blame Tyler for that death, along with many others, because Yaz was kind of holding his own.
Mm-hmm. Yaz was trying to get the son to come back. He was like, I got him. He chased him down on foot, which you are this trained special operative.
Mm-hmm.
And you got like a 14-year-old kid and he's outrunning you?
No, I would have just shot him in the heel. Don't run from me. We ain't got time for this. Boom, right there. Boom, flesh wound. I ain't got to kill him. Flesh wound. You shot me. Don't run. Don't run from me. Let's go. The situation is too serious to allow these things to happen.
Right.
Like my life is on the line. Your mom's life is on the line. Your sister's life is on the line. My team's life is on. I don't have time to run after you, dude. Like, you're going to put this vest on and get down.
And after he had the whole conversation with Tyler, because he called Tyler out, he was like, well, at least my dad stayed, you know, hit Tyler in the soft spot, you know, and they have this whole conversation on the balcony, and he's like, you thought that he came to the realization, my mom's trying to protect me, my dad's been lying to me, and then he was like, I'm sorry. And he was like, you know, you don't have to worry about it. He was like, no, I'm sorry, because they know where we are and they're coming. And then, of course, perfect timing, they see the helicopter coming in from the distance.
Yeah, that's how come Chris Hemsworth is the better hero than I am, because I would have grabbed him by his little shirt and held him over the balcony and hold out my gun. See you, little mother, and brought him in. I would have brought him in, but he would have been pissing a little bit.
And it's just like, so after all of that, we're thinking, okay, obviously, and then not only that, the first thing they do is shoot out that whole entire floor.
Yeah, they do.
So
reminded me of Iron Man.
He should have been like, oh shit, they're trying to kill me.
All the other shit that was going on before that happened,
if he hadn't figured it out by now.
If you don't know, they're trying to kill you by now.
And so they get down to the basement and they're getting into the car so they can leave. And he goes and he runs off because he wants to go be with his uncle. And it's like, how, this is where the annoying part comes in. It's like, how do you not know by now that they don't have your best interests at heart?
So here's the thing. As a tactical engineer, Smith, or of an extraction team, right? One thing that I would definitely have in my person, in my possession, amongst all my tactical gear,
right,
is some tranquilizer darts. Real quick. As soon as he ran, right in the ass. Right there. Two in the ass. Ta-ta. Oh, boom. Get in the car. And that's it. I'm not about to do this with you, my guy. There's too many lives on the line. Now we got to go back and get you. You know what I'm saying? You messing up, dude. You're messing up. That little curl, listen, the curls too tight.
Little curly top.
It's a little curly top. That's
and then
trouble.
The thing about it is, Tyler didn't even go back to get him. Tyler went back to go kill the brother. And that was literally the only reason he went back. He didn't go back for the son.
Yeah, because he burned him. He was like, dude, you know. Then they try to tell Nick to kind of not shoot because of him. And then Nick gets shot because of him.
If Nick would have died, I would have been highly upset. Well, because Nick didn't deserve that.
She really didn't. But at the same time, who put her in a compromised position? Like, clearly Tyler was dead. If it wasn't for Nick coming in to save the day, we had no Chris Hemsworth.
Right.
So it was kind of lame because, again, all this monologuing. If you want somebody to be dead,
you shoot.
Boom.
Because he literally could have shot, when he was out on the roof, on the glass, he could have shot Tyler in the head.
Both of them would have been dead. 2 birds, 1 stone.
And they'd have been done. But I got to shoot him in the hand, and I got to give off my speech. But
got a monologue.
I do appreciate at the end, they're both laying on the ground. Zurab is like, I will
never stop.
Tyler hit him with a no look. He just took the pistol off. Blah. Oh, no,
you're right. You're not gonna stop. So let me just go ahead and
let me go ahead and put a stop to this right now.
Well, why you didn't do that when he was on the roof? Like, did you not know who he was?
He didn't know who the other 50 people that he killed was.
So I gotta ask the question, Spider. I have to.
Mm-hmm.
The second version, Dos, of Extraction, brought to you by the great Russos who brought you Captain America Winter Soldier, Captain America Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, 2 of the highest grossing movies of all time.
And The Gray Man.
Extraction 2. Was it super? long, dramatic pause, ladies and gentlemen.
It wasn't terrible, but despite the high praise that it's getting from everyone else, in my opinion, just for me personally.
I mean, that's why people come to this show, for our opinion.
For our opinion, they want to hear what we have to say.
I hope so.
I
hope you're not here for the.
I'm about to say, if they're not here to hear what we have to say,
here for the beard.
Oh, maybe that might be why they're here.
I doubt it. Doubt it very seriously.
Let us know in the comments if you're here for Mr. VIP Frank Washington.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a waste of a comment.
But no, I don't think that this movie was super. I feel like there's a lot of things that they could have done just plot wise to make it a better movie. Like I said, the action was still pretty good. Some of it was just kind of a little bit ridiculous, but for the most part, it was still a good amount of action choreography. The way that they went about and I know I say this a lot, but if you look at the story on paper, right, going from A to B, without seeing it visually, it all makes sense. Right, except for the part where except for the part where he's on the roof with Zurab and he doesn't kill him. That's like literally, like, on paper that doesn't make sense. Like if it could have been some other kind of way, like he fell like 3 stories down, right, and he was out of reach, then that could be something that's a little bit different.
Pull one of them guns off them invisible corpses and go finish the job. Like, you're a trained professional.
If he just fell and Tyler tried to shoot him, but he didn't have a shot, right? And he just couldn't get to him, but he had to hurry up and go get to the chopper. Nick calls him, Tyler, we're leaving. And he has to I don't see him. We
but there's no reason to leave though, because there's nobody else alive. Now, if you're saying he fell 5 floors down and he gets up and they're leaving, then they're leaving, not rush, just regular leaving, and he gets up, but he still has the boy. Then you can have the mom distraught, my son, I need my son.
Yeah.
Even though your son's trying to get you killed, it's your son. So you want him, and Tyler, please, and let Tyler be like, nah, your son's shit. Your son said I wasn't shit as a father. You know what I'm saying? He hit me where it hurt. Give me that character development. And then you come to the hero's decision that let me go get her son because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And at the same time, don't tell Nick, stay here, protect the family. Like, I need help.
Right.
And go together and devise a plan. Because we wasn't expecting the bomb to be on the kid. We wasn't expecting them to be like, God damn, you really don't like your nephew. And then if you're going to say for him to kill Tyler and then he don't do it, and you say, disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
And I know, I still don't know what he would have done had Nick not showed up. Would he have kept monologuing? He had another speech prepared.
Pretty much. When I was a young lad, I was shooting squirrels at your age. So
did I ever tell you the story about how I lost my hearing?
Yeah, I had the killer instinct. I was killing rats. Like, come on, man. You're here. I got a bomb on the kid. You're a coward. I don't care what you think. And I just want you to know that before I pow. At least shoot him in the shoulder or something that let us know you mean business. It's like, then you go shoot him in the leg.
He shot him in the side, and Tyler was still alive. No, he didn't shoot him inside. The other guy outside is the one that shot him. Yeah, that's like you have to weaken the overpowered hero to make it seem like something that's stake. But there's no stakes because we know that at the end of the day, this dude is gonna die.
Yeah, Tyler takes bullets all the time. Just took one in the neck last movie.
Right. It's already been established that Tyler can't die.
The magnet for bullets. Who are you talking about? He like Neo in the Matrix. He stopped the bullets, look at it, and then let him hit it. Like, Oh, I love this. I love it.
Let me make sure this one's not gonna kill me right away. All right, that was good.
Quicksilver. Let me just move it in
Because
non-vital
not only
lethal.
did he get shot, he got stabbed like 8 times.
And walked it right off. So I can understand the adrenaline through the moments, but sticky tape on the bullet wounds, on the stab wounds. Like, you're not limping at all. It's just another frantic Monday. Oh, wish it was Sunday.
But no,
come on, man.
no. The movie's not stupid. There's just too many, like you said, consistency, continuity is out the window. They didn't pay attention to it at all, and just it could have been so much better than what it was. But Mr. VIP Frankie Washington,
yes, sir.
When it comes to Extraction 2,
Dose,
is it super?
Absolutely, absolutely. What are you talking? It's Chris. It's Thor, Odin's son.
But he's not Thor. He couldn't touch the hammer.
Motherfucker couldn't lift it. He was not worthy.
He didn't even get to put the hand on it. He went to reach for it and got whacked.
Absolutely fucking not super. It's absolutely not super. And it's for all the reasons that we've mentioned. The continuity is all over the place. The action scenes are comical. And it's almost sad because you had raw clay that you were molding into something nice, and then you were just like, cut the top off and let's just keep going. Right. And it's a masterpiece. And it's like, why'd you do that? You messed it up.
It had all the perfect ingredients to make a cake, but you put it in the oven and you fucked it up.
And I don't understand that. I don't understand why we did that, because you had a ground-based character dealing with ground-based events, and then you went over the top where you shouldn't have gone over you didn't have to rip the guy's finger into the Vulcan sign, like Forever Vulcan. But I understand he was a badass, but he was already a badass before he did that.
I mean, he went through a prison by himself and got the family out by himself. That's, I don't know how much more badass you can be than that.
Tom Cruise did it. So
Tom Cruise didn't have to rip somebody's hand in half either.
And he also didn't have a gun. So there you go. It could have been super. Yeah. I think, and I don't want to, because I don't know. I'm on the outside looking in. I don't know if it was time restraints or budget restraints, or maybe it went exactly the way that it's number one on Netflix. It is good score on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe we're the odd ones out, because it's full of action.
It wouldn't be the first time.
It got helicopters and explosions with more helicopters, and they definitely had a helicopter budget.
Also,
you know what this scene needs? Another helicopter.
We hadn't even talked about the cameo appearance that I didn't see coming, but Idris Elba just shows up.
Yeah, he's in G.I. Joe. He's he's in Hobbs and Shaw. This is the cybernetically enhanced Black Superman.
But he doesn't do anything. He comes in, he drinks his beer.
They can't afford Idris Elba to do something. Look, it's Hondo and Thor, Odin's son, coming back again.
Do you think that was the only reason that Idris Elba was in, because of that relationship? Because Idris
is not too high and mighty that he won't take a check. So
this is true, but for that character, they literally could have gotten anybody, a no-name character who just shows up, gives Tyler a job, leaves, comes back at the end of the movie saying, "I'm recruiting you for another job to work with my team. My boss is." Well, I'm saying, like, to
not even a twist, you know what I mean?
No. Because before, he's a lone mercenary. He's a gun for hire. Now, at the end of the movie, he's not just hiring him, but he's recruiting him to a team.
What's the outcome if he said no? You're gonna stay in jail?
Yep.
It's not like you really gave him a choice. No. You know what I mean?
And I knew that he wasn't going to stay in jail. You're not going to end the movie in jail. Him being in jail.
I would have ended it in jail. I would have ended it in jail. And the reason why, because if you're going to do Extraction 3, this is the only guy that could get him out. But
so we have to extract him first.
Cut the check, Russos. Cut the check and have the team botch it, and then Chris takes over and extract himself. And then, like, what's going on?
Go.
Why are you trying to extract me? We need you for this job. Only you can do it. Here we go.
But literally, him being in prison only served as a device for Mia to be able to find him, to talk to him, to give him the closure that he needed for the.
We could have got the closure when she was at the cabin. We could have got the closure in the cabin instead of having this nonsense shit walking around, ignoring him like he not standing there. I'm about to flip the laptop. Oh, I'm so angry with this movie. Like, fuck you, movie. What? I haven't seen you in years. I'm gonna come in. Okay, you got to see your sister. I got that. But when you come back, we're gonna have this conversation. I'm not even gonna rush it because we have unfinished conversation to have.
Right.
But nah, we're not gonna talk about that. I gotta go to jail for you to come visit. Girl, if you don't get out, you wonder why we broke up. What are you talking about? You can't open up about your feelings.
Yeah. But again, it's just the decisions that they made is just for us, we can't understand. I do, and I'm not saying that because they've done a lot of stuff. They've had their hands on a lot of stuff, and they do really good work. But it's just seeming like these Netflix movies, it's just there's some disconnect with them for some reason. And honestly, the Gray Man stands on its own in all of this because the Gray Man was just trash.
Yeah, it stands on its own by itself, like a steaming pile of
in a trash can by itself, getting ready to pull it to the curb to get picked up by the truck. But
no fault of Chris Evans.
No fault of Chris Evans. Chris Evans acted his ass off in that movie.
Oh yeah, got shot in the ass. And still acted his ass off.
But I don't know, and it's just like I say, you had all the elements there for this to be a great movie, and it just fell apart for whatever reason.
You know what happened, Spider? It got extracted. all the good part got extracted.
So the question is, where did they go?
What do you mean?
Where did the good parts go? They extracted them, and where did they bring them?
They went to Extraction 3.
Oh, okay. So then Extraction 3 better be a bomb-ass movie.
I told you, continuity call. She said she coming back for Extraction 3. Seven told me.
I don't trust a word that comes out of Seven's mouth.
I don't know. I don't know why he feels this way.
Seven could tell me I am on fire and I can be looking at the flames. I'm like, no, I'm not.
He's not gonna say that. Then he gonna say, "You are legend. I am legend," because you're on fire. You're not even feeling it. Oh my goodness! I'm looking forward to Extraction 3.
Are you?
No, not after this iteration. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. Yes, because this movie was not all bad. Listen,
no,
if you've never seen Extraction 1, you should see that. If you've never seen Extraction 2, you should definitely watch this one. This is not a movie that you should not watch, especially if you're a fan of Chris Hemsworth. It's not a bad action movie. It's just not on the tier of being. It's not on the tier
and it's not. The acting's not bad either.
No. And you know what? I actually like Chris talking in his normal
Australian accent.
What is it? New Zealand? Is it Kiwi? Is it Australian?
Yeah, I think he's Australian. I don't think he's Kiwi.
I love the fact that he speaks in he doesn't have to ham it up or try to, be somebody that he's not.
Yeah, he was born in Melbourne.
So that's right across from the pond.
No, it's not.
If you're on the other side of the pond, it is.
No, it's not. Could not be further away.
It's still on the other side. But it's not for those reasons that the movie is not super. It's just all the other stuff that we mentioned. It just, you have to take your suspicion of disbelief and throw it away and enjoy this movie, because some things just, don't get me wrong, I know how explosions work. They go directly in one direction instead of going
they should have like hearing loss, something
Ain't no time for that. Let's go. But we got time for you to run to your uncle. I would have tapped the what with the tranks, just 2 times in the air. So he would have been running and just fell over. I would have lassoed him and pulled him right back to the car, and we would have been out. No time for this. All this nonsense you're doing. What's gonna happen when he got to his uncle? Oh, I'm so glad you came back.
I don't know.
You think you was getting cookies?
If
all these guys died trying to get you.
If the roles were reversed and Tyler would have died and Zurab would have, accomplished his goal, avenged his brother's death, takes the son back to Georgia, raise him up to be a part of the Empire,
Of course.
And that would have been it. But the kid probably wouldn't have survived because he didn't have a killer's instinct in him.
So you know what you just did,
it could have been the fact that he had a bomb strapped to his chest that he was a little bit of afraid.
If you have a bomb strapped to your chest with the dude that clearly has no remorse if he kills you or not because he sent a whole goon squad after you, there's no part that you think that you're not going to get blown up. But at the same time, it's either shoot him or I'll blow you up and shoot him myself. He had a gun.
I mean, they would all just blow up.
That's not how explosives work.
He was facing Tyler, so only Tyler would get hit.
Tyler wouldn't even got hit. Just the kid would have blew it up right next to the uncle. It would have been like Captain America when Wanda blew up Crossbones. It would have been contained in this little bubble.
Okay, I got it.
So it would have been poof, and that was it. And then he's like, "You see what you made me do?"
He gave him another speech. I didn't want to kill my nephew. I remember when I was a kid and my brother got beat up because why did his brother get beat up? His brother, just because he was small?
Reasons.
God.
So the movie can happen. Oh my God! Where did he get these explosions from? Where are you getting this thing? Oh man!
I don't know. That's all it is. But let us know what you thought about Extraction 2 if you took the time to watch it. Do you think it's super? Do you think that it deserves the score that it's gotten on Rotten Tomatoes? Or
it's number 1 on Netflix.
It is number 1 on Netflix. Or
that tells you a lot right there.
Do you have some differing opinions about the movie? But let us know what you thought about the show. If you like the video, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And if you want to join in on the conversation, just tweet at us at ATSuperPod.
And if you leave a comment, we'll read it because we like reading comments.
Reading the comments.
You know what? I'm about to extract this from my watch list off of Netflix. Take that off my list.
They can't all be winners.
They can if you take your time with it. They actually can if you put the effort into it. If you actually do stuff that makes sense, they can. They can. But I don't know what the restraint was. So maybe I can't blame Kevin Feige. Not like Kevin's like, hurry up. Maybe the Netflix executives was like, hey, how's that Extraction movie coming? Like, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
Well, hurry up.
Because I'm pretty sure, especially with Netflix cracking down. Well, because Netflix cracked down on password sharing and they saw like an uptick in their subscribers. So I don't know, but I know I'm fairly certain that Netflix executives do put pressure on these writers and producers and directors for these.
Wait a minute, are we on a strike right now?
Yeah, we are in a writer strike, but this was I would imagine that they had probably already filmed all of this before the strike happened.
Damn,
because you know they have been promoting Extraction 2 for the longest.
I was trying to give them a way out. I didn't.
Maybe they had some rewrites that they couldn't get done because of the strike. I seriously doubt that, because this movie was already shot and done before the writers went on strike. I don't know. No answers, no words. I have no idea.
You know why? Because they've been extracted.
But thank you all so much for joining us on this episode. We always appreciate all the love, the support, the comments, the likes, and everything. We will see you all in the next episode. But until then, keep being super.
There you go.